Skimo's romantic.
Hello and welcome to Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold. I'm your host, Travis Macy, and this is the premier podcast and YouTube show for ski mountaineering interviews and race analysis. We are bringing you daily Skimo episodes leading up to the ski mountaineering events in the Olympics. That is the sprint race on February 19th and the mixed relay on February 21st. If you haven't heard our previous episodes, hey, go back. We've got medal contenders. We've got experts. We've got our first episode from February 6th was just all about what is Skimo. So if you're new to the sport, be sure to check that one out. Coming up, we've got analyst Katie Friend. We've got Team USA and a bunch more. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of it. And thanks to today's guest, Marianna Jagerčíková of Slovakia. She is a former winner of the Pyramenta. She is a former world champion, and she is still at age 40 racing for the podium, competing in the Olympics, representing her country. Just awesome. Go, Marianna. It was really a pleasure to get to know her in the conversation. She is a dynamic person in terms of being an athlete, being a professional, and having other things going on in her life. And I'm so inspired to see someone at age 40 still going after it. And on that note, hey, another American athlete at age 40 plus, Jessie Young from here in Colorado. Jessie's been one of the top Skimo athletes in the USA for a long time. Go back through our archives. You'll find Jessie's episode. And she also is at that highest Olympic level out there as an alternate for Team USA at about the same age as Marianna. So way to go, ladies. I'm so impressed with you. I'm so inspired. Marianna, I just enjoyed so many components of the conversation. Not related to the Olympics. We spent a little bit of time talking about equal prize money for men and women in Skimo races. I mean, it seems obvious. It's quite surprising in this day and age that some of the big races still would not have equal prize money for men and women. It's obvious to me. Apparently, this still goes on. It was brought to our attention by friend of the show and former guest Rhea Colbel. So, Rhea, thanks for bringing that up. And Maria and I talk about it in this podcast. And I'm pointing it out just because it's really important. And again, seems pretty obvious. Hey, if you're the director of a big event or any event, equal prize money for men and women. Thanks to the brands that allow us to keep doing these episodes every single day through the Olympics. It's a lot of work for us. It's a lot of work for Palm Tree Podco. Shout out to them. Thanks for producing it as always, guys. And we just really appreciate the support of these brands. I was out there skiing today, doing some uphill laps up above 11,000 feet there at Monarch Mountain Resort. And as always, dressed head to toe with Dynafit clothing and using those pink Pomoka skins. You'll see that stuff on some of the Olympic athletes, World Cup athletes, and pros out there in the big races like the Pyramenta, or even around here, the Power 4 or the Grand Traverse. Thanks to Training Peaks. This is the only platform I've used for over 10 years as an athlete and coach. Check out trainingpeaks.com/SkimoGold for a free trial today. Thanks to Revanta Creatine by NeuroReserve. I take it for cognition, strength, brain, and energy. Check out RevantaCreatine.com/SkimoGold and code SkimoGold, all caps, for 10% off. And please check out Camp as well, a fantastic company with well over 100 years of history based there in the mountains in Italy, where the Olympics are happening, where the one and only Marianna Jagerčíková will be competing soon. Marianna, welcome to Skimo Gold. It's so great to have you here. We appreciate your time. So excited for your Olympic journey, and I enjoy following you as an athlete. I always enjoy watching you. I love the vibrant speed suit of Team Slovakia. All the colors. It makes you easy to find out there in the races. I'm always inspired by an athlete at age 40 still competing at the Olympic level and going to the Olympics very soon. And I'm also inspired and curious about you just as a dynamic person. Not only are you a high level athlete, but you have an academic history. You're a geologist. Looking at your Instagram, it looks like you have a wide range of interests. So I'm just so glad to be talking with you. Welcome to Skimo Gold. And Mariana, what do we need to know about you as an athlete and as a person?
Yeah, hi Travis. Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you and thank you for the invitation. Yeah, you will see that I'm quite a spontaneous person. So as far as you will ask, I think I will give a responses. Yeah, so as you said, I'm 40 years old. I'm from Slovakia. I live since 20 years in France, where I moved for my university studies and I studied
Mm,
geology in Grenoble. So I landed in the Alps. And that was the reason I came studying to France because I wanted to study in a mountain environment. And already when studying, I was very like up to challenges. And studying in a foreign language, French is my foreign language. In Slovakia, we speak not Russian, but kind of Slav language. Um, it was already a challenge, and I think I'm almost whole my life up to challenges. So I ended up in France, and when I was 20 years old, I was doing skimo since my 15 years, and I started competing in skimo when I was 31.
mm. Yeah, relatively late age to start. Prior to that, Mariana, were you doing? I know you're highly into mountaineering. You've done guiding. Were you doing other endurance sports as well as a child, or maybe in your 20s?
Yeah, it's quite funny. When I look back on my sport background, I did all kind of sports a kid can do when I was a teenager.
Mm,
I ended up doing skimo and speleology. You see what this speleology?
mm.
It's caving. It's going to the caves,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
the
Spelunking.
spelunking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I did spelunking as chemo from my 15 up to 20 years old. And then I was studying a lot, really hard. I mean, I wasn't like a party person. And I finished by doing PhD, and I was in one of the best university in France. I was a very good student. Already I want to be first of the class all the time. And yeah, I did my PhD. And when I was doing PhD, I was doing another activity. I changed from spelunking to rock climbing,
Mm,
and I was quite tight with my muscles. And when being student whole day on chair, I wanted to do some aerobic activity to move around. So I started running at
mm,
lunchtime with my
mm,
colleagues. So it was like a trail running. But sorry for all the people who do trail running. I found it really boring compared
mm,
to rock climbing. I was like more to adventure. Rock climbing, spelunking, it's about exploration, about going to the unknown places most of the time. And so the trail
mm,
running, like around my school, was, yeah, okay, we go for it, we move. But it was a big motivation for me. So I need it. I figured out that perhaps um, if I like how to say I sign for a competition, I would be like in that preparation mode, progression, and I get the motivation.
mm,
And what happened? I went to the trail running competition, the vertical kilometer. No, it's
mm.
just uphill.
Yeah,
And because I'm very bad in the downhill running, I walk. I admit I walk. And
yeah.
so I went just for uphill running. And I had, since the very first race, had very nice results. And I was 27 years old and never been competing. Like my last competition running was when I was 11 years old at school. So I was like completely neophyte. I don't know if it works in English, neophyte.
Yep, same word. Yeah, you were new to the sport. Yep.
Yeah, that's French word. Sometimes I
Yeah.
use French words because I say that English is half French. Just
Yeah, a
pronunciation that
little
is
bit.
different.
Yeah, you had some talent from the start, and boy, spelunking in caves. I'm so fascinated by those. I've been able to do a lot of adventure racing around the world, in France and in other places, and sometimes in the races, we would go into caves, and you find checkpoints, and you navigate.
Ah.
With a map in the cave, which is a very challenging intellectual component. It's so neat, and I'm wondering, I know that with your work as a geologist, you focus on, deep water systems. Does that mean, have you spent time in caves, you go down, maybe rappel, and then you go into the water and you swim? Are you doing those kind of things in caves?
Yeah, I go to the caves. I still find the time to go to the caves. I do a research at the moment about hydrogeology, but the funny
Mm,
thing is that we have in the place we study we have very little water that we can reach by caving. Actually, there is whole zone we don't know, which is like submersed. It's in the water, but it's not accessible for us. There's only one cave with a river, but I have to admit I have been never swimming in a cave.
oh,
It's mostly the dry caves. We rappel down, and sometimes we have the ice inside because it is in the mountains. But
mhm.
yeah, I know I have not been swimming inside.
Okay. Wow. Fascinating. And one more question about Grenoble, where you went for studies 20 years ago. I got to go there in 2011. The Tour de France time trial at the very end of the race was in town in Grenoble, and I got to watch it. It was fascinating. Were you there in 2011 by chance? Did you see that
uh,
race or?
no, I have finished my studies is in 2010,
Hmm,
2010. Mm.
okay. So I
Yeah,
just
no,
missed you.
no. Mhm.
And
No, but
where?
I've yep, sorry. I was not very far away.
Yeah, yeah.
I live south
Where
of
are
the
you based
Grenoble.
now? South of Grenoble.
S
Okay, what
Yeah,
town,
south.
where are you?
Yeah. Yes, about 80 kilometers south of Grenoble. In the place it's called Écran. It's a quite big mountain range, and I train in Écran, and for those who know a little bit France, in Dévoluy, or
Mhm.
not that far from Zeus. That's a famous place for rock climbing.
Folks, this is Travis Macy. I host the Skimo Gold podcast. I also own Macy Endurance Coaching. And with my coaching, the only platform I've been using for well over a decade is Training Peaks. You can check out trainingpeaks.com/Skimo Gold for a free trial today, whether you're an athlete or a coach or both, like me. With Training Peaks, thorough data and comprehensive communication provide a foundation for person first, highly tailored coaching. Training Peaks allows all of this to happen seamlessly and efficiently. There's so many great features at Training Peaks. One thing I find myself doing almost every day is accessing an athlete's training log. I then click on a specific workout item. I get a window that pops up with the initial data, sort of an overview. On that overview, I see a smiley face scale telling me how they felt. I also see a very nice RPE scale that goes further into that. I can see the notes that they've given me on what they consumed, how they felt, how they liked the workout, so on and so forth. And then what I really like is I click a button that says Analyze, and I go to a nice page that has a graph that gives me the elevation profile, the heart rate, the cadence, the power. In Skimo, I'm looking at things like VAM and vertical gain per interval and for the entire workout. It's all there in one place. I also love looking at the lower right on that screen and looking at the peaks. What was the peak power for 30 seconds or a minute minute or 5 minutes or an hour? What were the peak heart rate and speed over similar intervals? All this stuff I cannot get on a spreadsheet, and I need a platform like Training Peaks that also allows me to communicate with athletes in addition to all that data. So that's just a little bit about it. If you're curious, check out trainingpeaks.com/Skimo Gold. You can get a free trial today. And if you're already using Training Peaks, check out one of their Skimo plans. That'll also give you 20% off a premium subscription. Again, that's trainingpeaks.com/Skimo Gold. With the Skimo training, are you training alone? Are you training with the French athletes? Or your Slovakian teammates coming? And what does your training? What does it look like? I think people are curious for someone at age 40, which is older, especially for the sprint discipline. We're talking a very high effort, 3-minute race. How do you train? How do you maintain that level? And is it the same training you were doing 8 years ago, or have you changed things along the way?
Uh, yeah, so I train a lot of alone, not with the other athletes because French athletes don't live that close to me,
Mm.
or sometimes I may go with one Italian athlete, Matteo Idalin, who lives in the region, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
quite rare. Yeah, so training quite alone or with my boyfriend who is doing coach on the races. So if he
Mm.
can get out of his work, he may go with me. But I would say 80%, perhaps even more, I train alone. Which yeah, it's mm, I need perhaps an extra motivation to keep going on alone. And my training. It changed from the when I very start. I was training too much and too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I had some troubles with overtraining after my first whole season in 2019, and then I started to work with coaches. I had my first coach was from Spain. His name is Gil Orion Jansana. Perhaps not the good pronunciation. He's from Catalan. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. And then later I trained with another coach from France. His name is Remy Rivet. And since this season, I train on my own. So I do my training program for myself. And um, my training now basically is mostly I'm not trying to develop really qualities because I'm already 40 years old. I try to sustain my qualities and to be durable. Um,
Mm.
so I have not big weeks like if I have to speak about numbers, I would train something like 13.5 hours per week. That is the
Mm-hmm.
stats I have at the moment. And a lot of zone 2 training. It's 80 to 90% almost. And then I have 2 sessions with the speed. One is more like threshold session with long intervals, and one session with short intervals. And I do a lot of transitions training as well. That's important.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. How about strength training? Whether it's during the skimo
Mm.
season or in summer, are you doing strength regularly? Are you doing it sometimes? Are you doing it not at all?
Yeah, I do some strength training. I have gym at home. Um, Most of the time, I try to train once per week. I have to admit, it's not my favorite stuff, but yeah, I need to do it. And during like pre-season, I would do it even more, perhaps 2 times a week. Um,
Hmm.
for me, the strength training is something. Which is quality. I think that I can gain the strength quite quickly, so I don't need to do it too much. That's my opinion, but
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Wow. And how about balancing this with work? I know that you are a geologist.
mm,
Again, you have the science PhD right now during ski season. Are you working as a geologist, or do you have time off, or does that change throughout the year? What's the balance for you?
Yeah, so since a couple of years now, so like 4 years, I'm a professional athlete. So I don't need
Okay,
to work
great.
besides doing sports, but I do
Yep.
it because I like it. So what was my job before is now it's more like voluntary based because I do it
Mm,
from time to time, but not really earning money from that.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
just do it like a hobby. And the ski was before was hobby, and now it's like a professional. So it changed. It got sweep.
yeah.
Yeah, so I do geology whenever I want, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Very good. Final training question, Mariana. How about the ski off season in the summer? Are you
Hmm.
running? Are you biking? Are you hiking? Are you doing other things? Are you taking time to recover and enjoy life? What does the off
No, no,
season look
I
like for you?
train.
Yeah,
Yeah, I train. I think everybody's friends at this level. Yeah, I
yeah.
do a lot of road biking, roller skiing, mountain hiking, even spelunking. I consider is like training.
Hmm.
Is all body sport like climbing, rock climbing, even
Yeah,
spelunking. Maybe even sometimes you really feel the muscles you even didn't know you have them. Because
yeah,
it is not such a position that you have to crawl or something like
yes,
this. Yeah, you
yeah,
see
yeah.
what I mean?
Crawling through the little areas is so challenging.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, kind of like a lizard or snake crawling. Yeah, yeah. And what else? I, the not this season, but 2 seasons before, I went skiing in the summer to Patagonia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in in August. But it was perfect. But it's perhaps not what I really need at that time of the year, like training, because in Patagonia I couldn't get that high altitude training because I was staying
Hmm.
in Bariloche, which is like 2,000-meter elevation. It's not that high, and I think it's important for us that we still continue on running. And when I'm on skis, I have tendency not to run anymore.
Mariana, how about the wisdom that you've gained over time? You mentioned that you know your first 2018, 19 as you came to World Cup, you navigated some overtraining, and I think that's very common. We're motivated, we're excited. Sometimes we have this compulsion that more and more and more must be better. Sometimes we
Mhm.
learn, you know, in our own experience or from coaches. Sometimes we have a very challenging experience with overtraining, and we learn the hard way, so we gain this wisdom. How have you gained wisdom over time? And furthermore, I saw a great post you had on Instagram about the World Championship last year. So in early 2025, I think you finished eighth place in the sprint at World Championship, and you had a good reflection of just, you know, kind of, it sounded like sort of being okay with it, you know, wanting to compete, wanting to finish better, but also having, I don't know, sort of a mature reaction. So, what wisdom have you gained over time, and how has that mindset shifted as you just become an athlete with more experience?
Yeah, it's a good question. So specifically speaking, last year I had some health issues which were like sickness,
Mm,
like common sickness like flu and I had a couple of them, which is quite unusual for me. So I think it was because we did a big volume training during the summer period. I had a new coach at the time, and we did like 20% more than the previous years, which is
mm,
by the volume, by the time, and by the denivellation, which is
mm.
already quite big for a elderly person that I am. So yeah, so I had a quite tough year last year. So I was already happy that I finished sixth in the sprint race on the World Championship. So I was quite happy already with this position from the perspective that the year was really tough. And I had
Mm.
quite big flu in February. I missed the race. So perhaps that's the reason for the last year. But what may say about myself and what I learned during the time is about my body, how it works, what are the signals I can get from it for overtraining. Um, what is my specificity is that I have quite excited nervous systems. So, for example, my parasympathetic branch of the nervous system is quite lazy, and I do not get really big recovery. It's like my body doesn't recover that well. But it's perhaps because of the age. But I would never know now because I was not training like an athlete being 25. So I think I will never know for sure. But I do some hypotheses about it. So I know that my recovery is quite poor. So so I need to help it a little bit. So for example, I need to do some relaxations. I don't want to be excited all the time. I cannot drink coffee, impossible for me. Yeah, so it's important to know its own body. And for example, when I had for first time overtraining, I had some um, um, arrhythmia on the heart, which never happened to me before. I was quite scared, and I went to the sport doctor, and then explained me that it's a signal of overtraining, and I do something about it. And then now I know when I have this similar feeling that yeah, we are getting close to the border.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So important. And this is great advice for any athlete to really feel those sensations in your own body and do what's best for you. In terms of calming the nervous system, do you have any favorite practices, whether it's meditation or mindfulness or
Yeah.
other things that may be a good fit for you?
Yeah, I do some breathing exercises, meditation. I try different things as well. I go just for to the spa wellness, for to do thermal water and
Hmm. Hmm.
just try to try to relax and for massage and these kind of things.
Yeah. Oh,
And
very
it's
good.
important to sleep well.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sleep is huge, right? And it can, as we age, the sleep can be elusive. Even if we do everything right, sometimes it becomes
yeah,
harder. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we
For
have
me, it's
to pay
definitely
attention.
true. Definitely true. My sleeping got worse and worse since years since I'm 20 years old.
Mm.
But for example, my boyfriend, he's the same age as me. Even he has 3 years more than 5 minutes. He sleeps, no problem.
Yeah.
It's different for everyone.
And thanks to Dina Fit and Pomoka for supporting the Skimo Gold podcast. I'm a long way from the Olympic level, but like many of you, I love getting out there skiing, downhill skiing, uphill skiing, in the resort, out of the resort. And literally every day that I'm skiing, the layers that are facing the environment for me are Dina Fit. I've got Dina Fit hard shell pants and jacket that I wear out on my downhill days or on the touring days when it's really cold. And I've also got a touring pant and jacket that I wear literally every single day when I go up there at the high elevation, Monarch Mountain. It starts at 11,000 feet and goes up from there. It's pretty much always cold and windy, and I'm glad to be wearing Dynafit when I'm out there in those conditions. Mariana, in the online Skimo news recently, we have a story or a post on Instagram by Rhea Coble, who's a former guest
Mhm,
on Skimo Gold, and Rhea was pointing out that in a race, it's not a World Cup race or an Olympic race,
mhm.
but in a private race with race organizers, there was an issue where the men received more prize money than the women, and it's the same course, same event. These are high level professional men and they're high level professional women, but the prize money is not equal. You chimed in and you had some comments. Do you have any thoughts on this subject?
Yes. Yeah, my thoughts didn't change in my comments. I'm deeply shocked about this treatment. Actually, I have to say it's quite rare in mountain sport. In France, I think it's only one race I did in whole years now that I have noticed that the prize money was different for men and for women. But it happens, and for example, for this race and the reasons the organizer they propose, they say because it's less women who participate, so there is less collected money from inscriptions. So the women get less money as prize money is unacceptable, especially in these times when we try to have more equality between men and women. So I'm still really shocked. And for example, that would be the reason I would never sign for such a kind of race. I mean,
Hmm.
people don't respect my job. I train as much as anybody else to his capacities. Yes, I said my body is a little bit fragile, so I cannot train the hours and hours crazy, but I train as much as I could. And I have the same expenses for the gear, uh, yeah, for nutrition, for traveling, for accommodation, perhaps for the race. And I pay the same amount of money as my men colleagues for inscription. So we should be treated in the same way. And I think that they are just too old-minded of kind of this.
Hmm.
Like it's not a trend anymore to this kind of treatment. Um, Yes, I wouldn't. I would not race in such a race. No, no, definitely not.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Mariana. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I remember 20 years ago when I was first doing high level mountain bike races in the US, some of the races had a similar system. They said the men's prize money is based on the number of male entrants and the women's prize money is based on the number of female entrants. And it's just that's ridiculous. And I think it's okay. Like it's hard to organize races, it's hard to have enough funding. It's fine to have the prize money based on the number of entrants, but put all of that entry fee into one pool and then create equal prizes for both genders. It's simply in this day and age, it's as you said, it's shocking that this is still happening. So I think that you know, again, if race directors are still doing this, I would highly recommend they make a change. And
Hmm.
as you said, you know, maybe these are races not to be supported by both men and women. And I would furthermore say, I can't speak for all male athletes, but I think most male elite athletes would be totally fine with having a smaller prize money for the men if it meant equality for women. I think that's something most people are behind, and hopefully with good policies,
Mm.
the entries go up for both men and women. So the prize money is, you know, about the same as where it was to start for the men. So anyway, thank you for chiming in. As we wrap it up, I could talk with you, Mariana, for hours because there's so many interesting things. On your Instagram, you have these cool urban photos. You have some great symphony music. Just a lot of interesting stuff going on. But as we wrap it up, let's go to the topic at hand. Bormio 2026. The Olympics are coming soon. I think that you're slated in both the sprint and the mixed relay. What do you think, Mariana? Going to the Olympics, how does it feel?
Well, first of all, it's a big proud for me and honor to be in these Olympics, and especially we will be there for first time with Skimo. And yeah, it was the last World Cup decisive for us was in at Solitude in the US.
Yeah,
So this was already big moment for us because we were not sure till the last race if we are qualified. Yeah, so it was a big moment for us when we were sure to get qualified, and let's see how it will go at the Olympics. Already it's a joy and successful for us for
yeah, good
Slovakia.
for you. That was in this for the listeners. This was early December. If you're not familiar, a World Cup in Utah here in the U.S. And you guys had I think it was am I right? A head-to-head race against Poland for a final
Hmm.
qualifying spot. So you got it in the mixed relay. Exciting moment. And what did you think of? Had you been to the U.S. before? Had you raced here? Did you have any impressions of Utah and your trip as a whole?
Yeah. Utah is one of my favorite places at the US. I've been already before this time racing. I've been 4 times in the US, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, for rock climbing.
Oh,
And
nice.
I love rock climbing in Zion, especially and in
Yes.
on desert towers around Moab region. So
Mhm.
I have great memories from Utah. It's a lovely place. I really love it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Do you have any favorite climbs in the Moab area that you
uh,
remember?
Yeah, Moses Towers in the Canyonlands, the kind of the what was the name? Monster Tower as well in Canyonlands.
Hmm.
Then the classic Castleton, Rectory. Uh,
Yep.
I've been climbing as well in Arches National Park, Three Gossips, uh, around the Colorado River as well. Yeah, really big memories.
I'm glad you got to go. And final question, Mariana, at age 40 as a pro athlete, you got the Olympics here this year. What do you think is the future? Do you have any, is it continuing with professional ski mountaineering as long as possible? Are you beginning to look to other things potentially, or just maybe a wait and see?
Yes, I think the tactics at the moment is wait and see. What I wait really is to know if we will be Olympics at 2030, which will be in France, in the region I live,
Hmm.
which can be
Hmm.
uh, another motivation for me to continue in competition. And then it's about as well about professional background. If we will stay Olympic sports, I will be able to stay professional in Slovakia. So yeah, as far as I'm a professional athlete, I will keep with competing at international level. Um, Now it's like as simple as this. Yes.
Yeah. Wow, good for you. Final point: if we have any Slovakian listeners and viewers, would you like to offer them anything in your native tongue? Whether it's I don't know, a thank you or encouragement, or just a special message to those listeners.
Yes, let me think about it. Ahojte, pozdravujem všetkých slovenských poslucháčov a fanúšikov. Držte palce for me. Oh, you couldn't see.
All righty. Thanks so much, Mariana. It's been great having you on the show. We really appreciate your time. So excited to watch you in the Olympics and beyond, and good luck out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, thanks for listening to Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold. Big thanks to today's guest, Marianna Jagerčíková of Slovakia. Look for Marianna out there in the Olympics. Hey, little inside baseball here. The speed suits that athletes wear in the Olympics may be a little bit different from what we're used to seeing on the World Cup. If you watch the World Cup ski racing like I do, that's on the ISMF YouTube. Anyway, there's different sponsors, there's different guidelines, different specifications for logo sizes and so forth. So I'm excited to see what Team Slovakia's speed suit looks like, because usually it is super cool. It's multicolored. It's really dynamic. It's easy to find. And I hope that the Olympic presentation is similar. So get ready February 19th in that sprint race. If you want to watch it live, if you're here in Mountain Time Zone, I think you're looking at like 1:30 a.m. Early morning skimo party, or maybe watch it back on replay on NBC or the Peacock app. But look for Mariana, look for Team Slovakia, and Mariana, we will be pulling for you. Thanks for talking. Really enjoyed it. Audience, we could use your support. Rate, review, subscribe, share this with other people. Give us some comments on YouTube. We want your feedback. We want to know what guests do you want to see in the future, what do you want covered, and just thanks for being part of the journey. And again, if you're new to skimo, if you're just hearing about it through the Olympics, welcome. It's a fun sport. It's a great sport to try out yourself, whether that's competing or just going out for a tour. Inbounds, out of bounds, wherever you go, wear your DynaFit stuff. It is some of the best gear around. It's what I wear every day. I also use Pomoka skins every day. We really appreciate the support of DynaFit and Pomoka. Thanks also to Training Peaks for supporting Skimo Gold. Please check out trainingpeaks.com/Skimo Gold. You can get a free trial as an athlete or as a coach, or if you're already using Training Peaks, check out their Skimo specific training plans, and you can get 20% off your annual premium subscription That is at trainingpeaks.com/Skimo Gold. Please also check out revantacreatine.com/Skimo Gold and use code Skimo Gold, all caps, one word, for 10% off Revanta Creatine by NeuroReserve. This is the creatine I use every day. If you've been paying attention to things like cognition, strength, brain, and energy, if you're reading articles about science and what's recommended for both athletes and non-athletes, you're probably already taking creatine. I really recommend trying Revanta Creatine by NeuroReserve. It's some of the purest creatine made. It's made in clean labs, and it's science-based. So again, revantacreatine.com/Skimo Gold. Code Skimo Gold, all caps, for 10% off. And please also check out Camp. Camp has been supporting Skimo Gold from the start. It is the 130-year-old Italian gear brand that makes so many of the trick accessories used not only by Skimo racers, but also by alpinists, by climbers, by mountain aficionados. And we love Camp because they are racers, adventurers, and mountain people who have been supporting everything Skimo from the start. They are based in Italy. The Italian culture is the camp culture, and watch the Olympics, get that spirit, and check out Camp. All right, folks. We're getting there, getting closer to the races. Keep tuning in. I hope that your stoke is growing. If you haven't heard our previous Olympic episodes, go back, check those out. Check out our first one on February 6th. That was Andrew Vance. We're talking about just simply what is Skimo. So if you're new to the sport, that's a great one. If you're into Italy and getting that Italian vibe, the food, the mountains, the coffee, the culture, check out previous interviews with podium contenders Giulia Murata and Alba De Silvestro, and check out the interview with the one and only Matteo Adolin. He is not an Olympian, folks, but he is the heart, the soul, the spirit of Skimo. You are going to love that interview with Mr. Adolin, in which we reflect on the role of the Olympics and the other forms of Skimo, the more romantic forms, and where Skimo may go in the future, Olympics and otherwise. All right, folks. That's about enough for now. I'm Travis Macy. You can find me at travismacy.com. Please come back tomorrow for more Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold.